And welcome back. With me right now from the third board is their board president, Rosemarie DiLorenzo. Nice to have you on this morning.
It's good to see you again. I love when I work with you.
Yeah, I'm very happy that you're here today. We have to mention, because we were talking about it, you're not wearing glasses, you got your LASIK done, and she's a testament to, we were talking ahead of time, how wonderful it is.
It is so incredible. I mean, and I'm so used to wearing glasses all the time, especially to read. And I was like, oh, I can't thread this needle kind of thing. Let me go outside. And just to be able to do everything and not to wear them at all is like the greatest.
I'm waiting one day to like throw these
I have
out,
a great eye doctor too if you need it.
All right. So lots going on right now. We are in the middle of budget season. I know coming up it will be another one of your meetings that you get with Betty Parker and the finance team, and then of course in August at your you have the actual televised budget meeting.
Yes, we do.
Yeah. So you got some meetings coming up though beforehand, of course.
Yeah, actually for our board, and it was really great. We knew that the budget meetings were coming up, so we had pre-budget meetings. Like, what do we? This was before we met with Betty or met with, even, based on what we know that we have to do, based on, things that happen with the units, we still have to, we want to work on the waistlines, we have to work on the copper pipes. We had a dry rot expert in, so we know we have to do that, but what are some other things that we have to do? So we met with M&C and energy, that aspect, and then we met with landscape. So we came up with our ideas. So then the department heads presented to us, and they really, and Betty said, and I was really pleased, she said we were so well prepared for the first go round with her. So we had our preparation meeting, then we met with her. So we're having our next meeting regarding third on Friday, July 13th at 9:30 a.m. in the boardroom. And that's open to all of the residents. And this is when we're going into the second review, which is before the review where we'll review it again and then pass it. So, we have some things that we're doing and some things that we're changing. So I know that we're going to get the final printout, I believe, on Friday, and then Steve and I, Steve is our Steve Parsons, our finance chair and treasurer of the board, we're going to meet on Tuesday to come up with questions that we could ask Betty.
Okay. All right.
No, to tighten it up. So we're really excited about trying to get things covered, see things where we might be putting too much money in there. I know we do have to put some money into the cleanup of landscape, because we have to get rid of anything that is a fire hazard. So we worked on that yesterday, where there's too much acacia or things like that. So we're working with staff on that.
Yeah, and especially when it comes to the slopes have always been.
Yeah, and we have more slopes than anybody else. So the thing that we really wanted to emphasize is that we can't plant too much, because when you plant, you use a lot of water.
Yeah.
And some of the planting that had been done in the past might not have been the right planting for the soil. What we really want to do is get them cleaned up. I mean, it doesn't bother me if they have bare spots in some places, but when there's like dead stuff, it's really problematic. So we're going to be really doing quite a bit more of that through the end of this year. We actually have permission from the union. We're working with the union on this to be able to hire that out, because I think that the work is too dangerous for some of our employees who don't specialize in standing on a slope. So rather than going through all of the training that you might do for this work that isn't constant, I think that's where they're going on that. So I think we're out looking for a company and bidding that work out, which is the employees are fine with that. Good, I don't want to go do those anyway, kind of thing.
Plus it'll be expedited a little quicker while the regular landscape is being maintained.
Right.
All right, very good. So you mentioned M&C, that's always a big
we just had our
committee.
M&C meeting on Monday, and right now they're working on the lighting. We're improving the lighting. That isn't having to do with adding lighting, it has to do with taking the lighting that we have and changing the fixtures, so we're not doing any underground wiring, et cetera, but taking the fixtures, improving the fixtures, improving how much lighting we had. And we really had to start in the Gate 6 area, where we have a lot of areas that are darker than others. So we started there. We also are going to start working on fixing the trash chutes. In
Yes,
all of our
yeah.
3-story buildings, the trash chutes had never been cleaned and had not been repaired. And by repair, it doesn't mean that somebody's going to, the entry doors might be broken.
Right.
You know, and which of course could let vermin out.
Yeah.
And the chutes, it's not like they're really broken on the way down, but sometimes how it's coming out on the bottom, things
Right,
get
okay.
stuck, et cetera. So we're working on that, but all the residents are going to be notified. That's something that is not a repeated thing that you do, but something that is 40 years due.
Yeah.
So we're
Yeah,
getting that
so
done
it's
for the
time.
first time. And then we're also, we had quite a bit of pushback on getting Shepherd's Crook, especially in the areas where you need it, because there's some areas where our gates our walls are low, and we're going through a problem with, you know, how high should it be? How high is high enough? Our gates some are higher than others. So I believe that we're going to, in the area where the wall part is the lowest, with the adding of the Shepherd's Crook, it'll still be like 6'4".
Okay.
So we're in the midst of putting that out to bid. We agreed on what style it would be. It's the one with the points going out. They're going out to the outside, not into the inside. Yes. We weren't sure. And we decided on which kind we wanted, and we have already approved the money for that, and that we're going to be working on that. But part of putting that in had to do with us cleaning up the area, the brush. But the other thing is some of the board members, because we discussed everything, wanted to get even higher Shepherd's Crook, but the cost was incredible. And if you have a little low wall, is it going to hold something that's that high? So we probably have to maybe look at some lighting or cameras in the very, very problematic areas. But our security department, we had a little bit of a rash of break-ins in mailboxes, et cetera,
Yes,
but they've been all over it. We haven't had any more reports, but they have really been out there and working that area very hard.
All right, very good. Yeah, I know there's certain areas along Ridge Route, for instance. When Bill Walsh was on, he mentioned how the wall on the outside, when you look at it from the Ridge Route, is only about 3 feet tall in certain parts, because the way the landscape slopes up to it. Where other areas it might be 5 feet. So to get all that,
You know, it's such a shame that many, many, many years ago, we had suggested to some of the former, the former management company, why don't we just start planting a lot of bougainvillea there? Because that certainly gives you a good, and it grows really fast. But right now we have to move on this. We can't wait for plants to grow.
Right.
I mean, we don't have the time.
Yeah. So also, you wanted to talk about chargeable services. And first, would you do a favor? There might be a few new people who just moved in. Explain what that is. So some people might go, well, wait, what are services they're talking about, or how does that work? If you give just a brief.
You know, and it's something that we're still working on, because, for example, somebody has to change. I don't mean change a light bulb in your lamp, but some of the lights, you know, the spotlights in the ceiling, and somebody doesn't want to get up on a ladder to do it. So, you know, they want to call someone to come and do that work for them. Or somebody wants I don't know what they're called, you know, the things on the door that, so it doesn't bang into the wall. They want to change those, or change a towel rack, or have a toilet seat changed. So there are quite a number of things that people want to get done, and they want to be able to call a staff member because they feel safer using a staff member. And the thing is that many years ago, and if you have a plumber, you want a fixture changed, your sink is backed up or whatever, or the toilet is running. So we used to do a lot of that. And then they stopped. And I was told, this is before I was on the board, that it would stop because we didn't have enough staff. And we've been trying for a long time to say, okay, we're really building up the staff, we're getting things done, we really have to bring this back on. Right now, United is testing the handyman service to see how it works. and because they have so many things that are done for them,
Yeah.
because a condo is different than a co-op,
Right.
and they're a co-op. So we wanted, so they have so many things being done that their service wouldn't be as extensive as ours would be. We want to see how they're balancing it in the computer, how they're saying to somebody, oh, you already had your handyman calls for the month. There's
Yeah.
a lot that goes into
Sure.
it. And at the advice of our general manager and staff also, we said we want to see how it works with them. In the meanwhile, we know I have a light out in my kitchen and I can't
Yeah.
do the ladder
Yeah.
for that. You know, I'd have to go buy a ladder. Oh,
Right.
I'd better
Yeah.
off calling an handyman. So there, and some people say they need help moving boxes, or they want their mattress turned,
Sure.
and these are things. So we're meeting this week to take the list that we were given by staff and just fine tune it and make it easier for people to use.
Okay.
And then we're going to bring it to the board and have it voted on and instituted. But we also want to make it the right price.
Right,
Not,
right.
you know, not charge people more than they should be charged, but not let the rest of the community absorb the cost
Right,
you know, so we're working on that.
Very good.
And the last thing that we have that's very important is elections are
Yes.
coming up.
Yes, they are.
It's like it's here already. So we're starting now. Anybody can go up to see Cheryl and get an application. I hope it's Cheryl that they're supposed to see. Well, they could see Cheryl or Catherine.
Yes,
And get an application. And then we also have a whole schedule of when your work has to be into the paper, et cetera. And we're actually going to do a campaign with our communications person. We're going to work with United on that. You know, bring us your talent. We need
Okay.
your talent in order to make this community better. And Eileen I said, is that as creative as we could be? You know, so we're going to meet next week with Bert Baum, who is our communications person on our board, and myself, and start working on this. We already set the date for Meet the Candidates to be televised.
Right.
And that's going
Yeah.
to be on August 24th at 9:30 a.m. in the boardroom. So we have until then,
Yeah.
to get the people to apply, fill out the applications, do all the work. Then we'll do the interviews and rerun them. And then they'll be voting. I think the ballots go out right around Labor Day.
Yeah.
So it's
And
coming.
I understand, is it three spots on the board?
Three
Okay.
spots. Three
All
spots.
right.
One of the directors said they're going to rerun, but but
Okay.
it's still three
Yeah,
spots.
right.
So we hope
Okay.
that we get a number of people applying. It is fun, and it's very rewarding to do things for the community, and
Yeah.
you meet great people. So
Well, very good. So again, folks, if you're interested, you can come up to the second floor here and get an application. Do you know, is it online yet?
I don't know. I think
Okay.
so.
I
I
think
think it is
I'm sure
online.
they probably
The
can,
only
yeah.
thing that we have to change is you cannot fill it in online and just push the button and send it
Okay.
in, because we had a little glitch with that. So
Okay.
you could fill it out, you know, print it, fill it out online, and then bring a copy in. We have to have it received, et cetera.
All
and
right.
then, but you'd want to come in and work with staff anyway, so you know. If you have any questions, usually people have questions about the election.
Yeah.
And there's
Very
always
good.
somebody on the board who's willing and happy to help anyone who wants to, who is interested in running.
All right, so remember, get your applications in if you're interested, because it's not that far away.
Right.
All
And
right.
thank you very much.
Thank you, and I want to remind people that it is, am I right, Friday coming up, that you will be having the 13th,
The 13th at 9:30.
the budget meeting. That's an
Yeah.
open meeting. We don't televise that one, we televise the August one. So just to let you know.
All right, thanks.
Good to see you.
Have a great day.
We'll be right back.